Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be making a simple interactive pages in the new Dina Wakley craft journal. So I'm starting off in my new craft journal. This is a 6x6 journal. I've already got some spray on the page, which is kind of what inspired this page, because I wanted to work with some near complements or complementary color combinations. So on this page, I'm just starting off tearing up some of the new Dina Wakley collage tissue. I'm just putting some collage in the background just for a little bit of interest. And there's no rhyme or reason to where I'm putting this, except I know I'm going to be cutting this page on the left approximately in half. I know that this is about where I'm going to have the cutout. So I'm not putting anything right all over the page to the end of the left hand page, if that makes sense. So this new collage tissue pack has got lots of different things in it. It's got pattern paper, it's got lots of circles, it's got lots of faces, it's got feathers, it's got some plants, it's lots of patterns. So it's really versatile, and the best thing is they're all printed in black. So there's 2 of each sheet. There's no white pages to play around with, because I know they're challenging to play with. So it's nice to have all black images. And for this particular page, it's really handy because I know the black is going to stand out against all the other colours that I'm going to put on the page. So I'm just heating up the collage tissue just to dry off the gel medium. Because I'm working between 2 pages, I don't want it to get too sticky. So I'm using the near complements of sort of red and turquoise. I probably should be really using green, but I really like the combination of ruby red and turquoise. So I'm using the gloss sprays because I've got that in the turquoise. And the great thing about the gloss sprays is that they react to each other. Now, the reason why I'm getting that beading happening so much is because I've actually sealed the page below with a gel medium. That's why I wasn't too concerned that I had gel medium kind of going everywhere, because I knew that would help me get another effect on the page. I'm also being a little bit cheeky. You really probably shouldn't heat up your gloss sprays or your acrylic paints for that matter, but because I'm working on 2 pages and I want to get it done because it's me, I like to heat it up. What does sometimes happen with the gloss sprays is if you have a big puddle of it and you've got some paint or acrylic spray underneath, you may find you get a beautiful crackle effect. So if you don't want the crackle effect, don't heat it. If you do want a crackle effect, well, go nuts. Just work in a well ventilated area, because obviously acrylic paints are a type of plastic. So once I've done sort of the blues and reds on one page, I'm now going to do purples and oranges on the second page. Now this is kind of inspired because in Dina's new release, she has got a blackberry gloss spray, which I don't have. I've got the eggplant. Unfortunately, my eggplant's not spraying the best, which is why I was having a bit of difficulty spraying it, and it's only really light in patches. So I'm actually going just in with pure paint. And this is a blackberry paint. So if you had the blackberry gloss spray, you would have this colour on your page, which obviously is a beautiful purple colour. I'm doing the same thing. I'm using one of Dina's masks and spraying around it. And again, you can sort of see, even with the paint in the background, you're sort of getting that splotchy effect. And that's because, again, the page is sealed with the gloss gel medium underneath, not the gloss gel medium, it's a matte gel medium underneath, and it also has the paint and the gloss spray underneath. So these 2 pages, I suppose, are a bit of a play on contrast. So this page is going to be purple and orange, and the other page is going to be turquoise and red. So with the mask that I had, it also comes with the stencil. So I used the stencil to continue on the colour, just deepen it up a little bit, so I've got the orange around. And with leftover paint, I've also created these stars on the page. I'm just drying that off again because I want to go back and do the same on the other page. And this is where doing 2 pages at once sometimes can be really handy, especially in a page similar to this, because once I've done the composition on one page, I'm doing the same on the other side except in reverse. So I don't really have to think about it very much, which is really, really handy. If it's working on one page, it's going to work on the other page. It's just using a different colour combination. Now, personally, I really like the red and the turquoise because those are my colours. I'm not a big fan of orange and purple, but it was good to push myself out of my comfort zone. I use this colour combination a lot, so by doing the same thing in a different colour combination, it kind of gave me confidence that aesthetically it would work. Maybe it won't work for me personally because I don't particularly like the colour combination, but it should work, if that makes sense. So I would encourage you to try some different colour combinations and just see how different things, because it may surprise you. You may be really happy with it in the end. One of my favourite things to do with stenciling is to go around the outside with a white pen. My white pen was dying, which is why it is very faint in some of these areas. So I found a new pen that actually worked. So I should really actually go back to the other page and do it again. Now I am being really, really sketchy with how I am drawing out around these stars. I am not following the lines. I am deliberately being a bit sketchy. You can see I'm actually holding my pen quite far up the barrel. So I've got quite a loose grip on my pen because I don't want it to be perfect. I want that sort of scratchy look to the page. Once I've done that, I'm going to stick on this image. Now I did have some of these already pre-cut, but I just like the idea of sort of having that shadow over the shoulder. So what I'm doing is actually stamping onto the page. Now the craft page is actually really good to stamp on, but I've got a whole heap of gloss sprays and paint and so on that page. The reason I stamped on it was because this image actually has some writing around the outside, which I wanted to include with the image. So I've got my person stuck down, but when you look in the close-up, you'll actually see the writing around her. So that's the reason why I sort of stamped it, and I wasn't too worried if it wasn't great, because I was sticking the majority of the image over the top. So I'm kind of putting the image down to kind of work out where I want to stamp it, and then I'm going to stick the image over the top. The other thing that I chose to do was I actually really liked the contrast of the black writing on the page. So I found a really a script stamp, a really fine script stamp, and just sort of stamped some script around in the background, which sort of added, again, a little bit of texture, a little bit of interest to the background, put a little bit of that contrast of black and white on there too. So these are two quotes from the Not Subtle stamp set that was released in February, and they're my favourite quotes. I just love them. I was not made to be subtle. I'm a voice, not an echo, and I think they work really well together. So I've actually lined it up so when you turn the flap, you won't see it. So you've got this contrast in the other page coming through. You could obviously stamp that image out and just keep it as a block. I personally really like cutting all the words apart, so I can kind of arrange it and spread it out a little bit, so it just adds a little bit more to the page. So I was really liking this page, not so much the other page, but I did want to add some extra journaling about that quote and what it meant to me, and I thought I'd do that in white just to sort of balance it off a little bit. I am drying it before I turn the page because I don't want to transfer it. And then I'm going in on this page too and writing over the sort of the shadow in the background, the echo, so to speak. So I've got some journaling there too. So my journaling is really messy. It does say stuff. It was what was in my head at the time when I was making this page. It's not probably something I go back and read again, so I'm not too worried about that I can't read it. It was just getting what was in my head out. So you can sort of see on this page how you can see the next page peeking through. And when you flip the page, you've got the same stamps and stencils and so on, and then you've got the peak of the red through it. So it's a really, really simple way to create a page. Obviously I've used that silhouette mask to cut out my page. You could just cut a wavy line. It doesn't have to be anything special, but it's a great way to use it. And if you don't have those silhouette masks, use a magazine image, so to cut out around that. You can use a pair of scissors to do that and it'll work the same. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.